Hey guys, my name is Gabby, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm gonna be doing what I've watched part 2! Woo! Movies, TV shows, and that kind of thing. I wanted to start talking about movies and TV shows more on this channel this year, and so this is the second video. I'll link the first one down below if you didn't watch it yet, so you can go watch it and see what I've been watching. Last time I did this, I started talking about movies first, and then I did TV shows for last, but this time I wanted to talk about TV shows first because I've been watching some really great TV. So the first TV show I watched the whole first season of is The Good Place with Kristen Bell. This is about people that have died, and then after they've died, they go to the good place, which is like kind of like heaven, and then there's like the bad place, which is like hell. And so Kristen Bell finds herself in the good place, and they explain the rules of like your entire life you've had like all these statistics calculating whether or not you would make it into the good place, and the people that are in the good place are only the most amazing, incredible human beings that have ever lived. This show is just so good. It's forking hilarious. They like correct her every time she says a curse word because you can't cuss in the good place because it's like the good place. So every time she's like, fork! And Adam Scott has like a part in this. He doesn't appear until later in season 1, but he is so good. It's probably my favorite character that I've ever seen him play. Like, he's so good in this role. Love this show. Yeah, basic. The second show I tried to start watching was Lost in Space. I actually only watched the first episode of this before I got kind of bored of it, and so I didn't really watch the rest of it, but I wanted to love it because I normally love shows that like take place in space like this and that kind of thing, but I was just so bored and I didn't think any of the acting was like super good, to be honest. It was just kind of like, and I didn't like a lot of the characters' like decisions. They just didn't feel very realistic, and I don't know, it's a cool concept, but I didn't care for it. Third show I watched was Jane the Virgin. I finally caught up, finished season 4, and like, holy fuck, that season 4 finale, what even? I am so shook. And I'm so excited because I finally got my mom to start watching Jane the Virgin, and she's binging it right now as we speak. Guys, I seriously love this show so much, and with the way that season 4 ended, it has me feeling like maybe season 5 might be the last season. So I'm like really curious and scared to see where it's gonna go. I don't want the show to end. It's so good. And the last TV show that I've been watching is Dark. This is one that actually got recommended to me by a lot of people on YouTube and Instagram and everywhere. This is a German Netflix original show. It kind of reminds me of like Stranger Things and like Back to the Future and like Donnie Darko. It's like reminding me of a lot of things that I love, so it's really cool. It deals with this small town in Germany that's experiencing these supernatural events and like time travel, and people are going missing and nobody knows what's going on. It follows the detectives and the local people in the town. It's so good. Really cool because it is a German show, so they are speaking German, but if you watch it on Netflix in America, they have English voiceovers for all of the actors, and it's really cool. It's really interesting. I've never watched a foreign show before. I'm like loving the hell out of it. I only have 2 episodes left to season 1, so by the time this video goes up, I'll probably be done with it, but holy shit, it's so good. I've been binge watching it the last few days, and it's amazing. Now to get to the movies I saw. First one that I saw, I think this was like around the end of March, I saw Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander. I really liked this movie. I never saw the original Tomb Raider, but I thought that this movie was like fun and suspenseful, and I enjoyed that it was a female lead in an action movie. That was like my favorite thing about it. Of course, this did have some like cheesy acting and cheesy moments and whatever, but I thought it was a decent movie overall. I think I ended up giving this one like 3 out of 5 stars. The second movie I watched was Soylent Green, and this was a movie I had to watch for my environmental science class. This is a movie that is from the 1970s, and it imagines what the world would be like in the future. It takes place in Los Angeles, and it shows how like overpopulated the world is and what they're doing about these issues. And I mean, it's still very relevant. Like, the issues in this movie are so relevant to today, and I do think it's an important film to see, but at the same time, like, the acting is so cheesy, the dialogue is just cringeworthy, and it's definitely a dated movie for sure, but I did enjoy watching it, and I think I gave this like 3 out of 5 stars. Next movie I watched was Downsizing with Matt Damon. Again, this is a really cool concept, and that's the main reason why I wanted to watch this movie, because I love the idea of it. Like, these people downsize into the size of like a little ant. It's such an interesting idea because it has to do with like sustainability in the future, and like if everybody downsized, then like we could really save the planet, you know? And I like the idea of it, but like, oh my god, this movie was so boring. It's so long, and Matt Damon Damien's character is so fucking boring. Unfortunately, this one ended up being a huge letdown. It had so much potential. Like, this movie really could have been amazing. So fucking boring, and I did not like Matt Damon in this role. Like, why couldn't they give it to someone who could have brought some life to this movie? Like, this movie was dead. It was just like so boring. I gave Downsizing 1 out of 5 stars. The next movie I saw was Ready Player One. I know some people that have read this book aren't really liking the movie, but I actually really loved the movie. Like, I don't know why, I just did. I had read the book like a month before and I loved the book, and I know that there were a lot of changes from the book, like I acknowledge that, but I still loved the movie. I had so much fun watching it. I really loved seeing all these characters come to life, and the world, like the whole oasis, it was so beautiful and it was everything that I imagined it to be. The romance was more developed in the book, but I didn't mind it that much in the movie. I mean, of course Wade is gonna fall in love with the first girl that like gives him attention, because look at his life, you know? Loved this movie. I thought it was so cute. I loved James Halliday and I loved how they did everything. It was just adorable. I loved it. So I ended up giving this one 5 out of 5 stars. It was great. Loved it. Had a great time. The next movie I saw was A Quiet Place, and I saw this in theaters and I was like scared out of my freaking mind, because like I don't see scary movies in theaters, and this movie was like so quiet. You could hear your own like heart beating in your chest the entire movie because of how freaking quiet it is. Oh my god, dude. John Krasinski has outdone himself. He directed this movie and he acted in it and he wrote it. So fucking good. I'm sure you know because this movie's everywhere, but if you don't know, it's about this like family that's living in this post-apocalyptic world where these monsters are on the planet and they can't see you because they're blind, but they can hear you. They've like literally thought of everything. Like, this family is so smart. They like thought of like putting sand down everywhere so that you can like tiptoe everywhere and it's just very quiet, and they have this like light system where they like change the color of the lights if there's an emergency so they don't have to be like screaming at each other. Just so well written and so realistic and just scary and amazing, and it made me fucking cry. Like, it made me bawl at the end. John and Emily are just like the cutest. So I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars too. I loved it so fucking much. I can't wait to watch it again. Next movie I saw was Kings of Summer. I really like Nick Robinson now and I wanted to watch some of his older stuff. And the movie was really cute. It's like a coming of age story about these boys in the summertime, and they want to move out of their house and like go and build their own house, and it's just really adorable. I loved the editing and the cinematography, and the soundtrack was really good too. So I ended up giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And the next one I saw was Blockers, and this is like a summer blockbuster comedy movie about these parents trying to like stop their kids from losing their virginities on prom night. And I was kind of surprised by the like social commentary and the message about when is it appropriate for kids to be losing their virginity, and like some parents are very comfortable talking about sex with their children, and then some parents are really like not, like they don't ever want their kids to have sex ever. I loved the teenage girl actors. I thought that they were all so good, and I loved the LGBT representation. Yes, so I ended up giving Blockers 4 out of 5 stars. Another movie that I saw for the first time was Definitely Maybe with Ryan Reynolds. Holy shit, this movie was so good. If you don't really know what this movie's about, because like I didn't, it's about this guy telling his, like Ryan Reynolds telling his daughter how he met her mom, but he like takes her on the journey of his entire dating life, and she has to figure out which one of the girls that he's describing is his mom. The cutest. That's like my perfect formula for like a chick flick. I just loved it so much. It was so cute. Rachel Weisz in this movie is so cute. I loved it so much. It was so unexpected and amazing, and I loved it. Another random movie that I watched was this Babies documentary that's on Netflix. We talked about this in my psychology class last quarter, and I like have been wanting to watch the entire thing. And me and my sister finally watched the whole thing, and oh my god, it is the cutest documentary ever. It just follows these 4 babies from different parts of the world, and you get to see how like all humans are the same. Like, we're all raised the same, and like we have small little differences in the things that we do, but all babies and all humans are the same. It was the cutest shit though. Like, if you like just like watching babies, then oh my god, watch this documentary. I was just like like squealing the entire time. It was so cute. Another movie that I watched was Rampage. I really enjoyed this one because I really like The Rock. I think he's like a really likable dude to watch in movies. This one was really good. It was like action-packed and it was interesting, and it was like these animals like that were like larger than life. Like the coyote scenes like really scared me. Definitely like a forgettable trashy like action movie, but it was still fun to watch. Another movie I watched for the first time was Boogie Nights with Mark Wahlberg. This movie came out in the 90s, and it's about this like guy, Mark Wahlberg, that becomes a porn star, and it's like about the porn industry in the 70s, I want to say, and it was just so interesting, and it was like really entertaining, and I loved the scenes with the guy that plays Frank on Shameless. I can't remember what his name is, but he was so entertaining in this, and Mark Wahlberg was such a young kid in this movie. It was like, holy shit. Another movie I saw was Avengers Infinity War. It blew my fucking mind. Like the ending of it, like what the fuck? This movie was so cool. It was so amazing to see all of my favorite Marvel superheroes coming together and like being in scenes together. Like the scenes with Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy was like some of my favorite thing I've ever seen. All the scenes in Wakanda, and I really loved to see Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Like both of their egos are so big. Everything I wanted it to be and more. I'm fucking shooketh with this movie. It is so good. That one gets a 5 out of 5. Easy. I also rewatched Thor Ragnarok with my parents because they're so behind in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I was like, y'all need to catch the fuck up so you can see Infinity War. So I rewatched, and it was so good. It was just as good as I remember it being when I saw it in theaters. Oh, that movie is so amazing. Also watched I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. You know, I mean, it does have a good message for little girls, I think, but as a movie, it was just so cheesy and cringeworthy, and I loved Michelle Williams in this. Like, she was my favorite because I love and adore Michelle Williams, and I thought she was so cute in this movie. But other than that, like, oh my god, like, she actually hits her head and then thinks that she's like beautiful, and she thinks like there's this like magical spell over her, and I thought she was like kidding. Like, from the trailers, I thought she was like, she just had a change of heart or something, and she thought like she was beautiful or something because she hit her head, but she was actually like, she actually thought that there was some kind of magical spell happening. It was like, it was okay, but it was totally forgettable, and the ending was so cheesy. Another movie I watched was Forever My Girl. Holy fuck, I could go on an entire video rant about everything that I didn't like about this movie. This is this like Nicholas Sparks wannabe bullshit romance movie that takes place in the South. It's about this guy who's a huge country star now, but he abandoned the girl that he loved on her wedding day. He doesn't have any real excuse for why he left her on her wedding day. They had a daughter that he didn't know about. Their daughter is 8 years old, and now he's like coming back to their small town, and he's like trying to correct his mistakes. And this movie was so fucking irritating. The only reason why I watched this movie is because I really like the actress Jessica Roth. I just think she's really cute. She was in Happy Death Day and La La Land, and I just wanted to watch it because of her, because I like her as an actress. Jesus fucking Christ, this movie was so bad. It was so bad. This guy just fucks up over and over and over and over again, and she's just like, well, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, she's like, who cares? He's an idiot. Like, he even has scenes in this movie. He's constantly being like, I'll pay you $10,000 to do this, to like people he meets on the streets. Like, what the fuck? There's an actual scene in this movie where he has to call his agent to figure out how to order a coffee machine online because he's that much of a fucking idiot. Like, that much of a princess. He doesn't even know how to order anything online because he never does anything for himself. He was so fucking bad. Don't waste your time watching this. I give it 1 out of 5 stars. I want to like slam my head into a wall after watching this movie. The last movie that I just watched was Tully. Charlize Theron and Mackenzie Davis, which are 2 actresses that I love and adore. This is a really adorable movie. Charlize Theron plays a mother who just gave birth to her 3rd child. Her oldest son that she has showing signs of like autism, I want to say. Like, they don't know exactly what's wrong with him, but he's very like temperamental, and Tully is Mackenzie Davis's character, and she comes in and she's a night nanny for them so that she can watch the newborn baby and they can get a good night's sleep. And this movie is just so beautiful, and it really shows the struggles of motherhood. And this movie went places that I wasn't expecting it to at all, like literally at all. The ending, I was like, what the fuck? It had the most shocking ending, and I was like, what? Like, it just changed the entire movie, and I love when a movie can surprise me like that because like I literally had no idea it was coming. Just so good. It was so cute, and it was everything I wanted it to be. So thank you so much for watching as always. Have you guys seen any of these TV shows or movies that I'm talking about? And if you have, what are your thoughts on them? I would love to know, and I would love to talk about it with you in the comments. What movies have you guys been watching lately, or what TV shows have you been watching lately? I have like such a long list of shows on Netflix that I want to watch. I just don't have a lot of time lately. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys next time.